Howdy all, welcome to Freeze Frame, the show where we identify little bits in film and blow them out of all proportion. I'm Harv, and today we're looking at a slightly more obvious scene than usual on this program, but it's just so fucking awesome, I had to cover it. Plus the other idea I had was to cover that scene in Jerry Maguire where he has his back to camera and I think he picks his nose, but no one else thinks he picks his nose because you can't see him pick his nose. And to be honest, that may have only ever happened in my imagination. So, yeah, let's just crack on with the shootout scene from Unforgiven.
Jesus Christ! Stop it! Oh, fuck's happening now? Oh, man! I don't see you. Oh, man, I shot Martin in the face. Why the fuck did you do that?
So unlike other scenes that we've covered in the show so far, the shootout scene from Unforgiven is a big action set piece. It's the climax of the entire film, for God's sake. So if you already like Unforgiven, you don't need me to tell you this scene is bloody awesome. However, I needed to tell myself because, to be honest, when I first saw Unforgiven, I was pretty convinced that I just didn't like the Western genre. When I saw Unforgiven, I realised I probably hadn't given Westerns a very fair shake. And to be honest, I shouldn't have been surprised. If anyone was going to show me how to make a good Western, it would have been Clint Eastwood, right? So Unforgiven does something very different with the genre that I hadn't seen before, and I really haven't seen since. It presents the world in a very gritty, realistic way. And more importantly than that, it presents the violence that it shows as a significant event in the characters' lives. And this is something that even your general Hollywood films don't do very well, because they glorify the violence and make it artistic and cool to look at, rather than exploring the effects that the trauma of that violence has on the human psyche. And for me, that latter is just such a more interesting topic than watching people's heads explode. Even though I do like, a good head exploding. I really do enjoy that too, so.
I love a good exploding head.
So the real genius of this film for me is not just the fact that it's presented in a gritty way, but the way the scenes are constructed, with each one having a very specific purpose. Not only does each one move the story forward just an inch, but on another level, every single piece of information every scene gives you is setting you up for the final gunfight. So by the time William Munny walks into that saloon and aims his gun at Little Bill, you know so much about the situation that if you could avoid shitting your pants at that point, you may be constipated and should probably consult a doctor or eat a lot more carrots. We know William Munny's a killer of women and children because basically everyone in the movies heard the legend. But not just that, William Munny gets mean when he drinks. And we just watched him down an entire bottle of, I guess it was whiskey, I don't know, it could have been something more nasty than that. Maybe it was moonshine. Maybe it was rhinoceros semen. We know William Munny's loyal to his wife and friends and would do pretty much anything to protect them or perhaps avenge them. Oh, and did I mention that we just witnessed his best friend get whipped and beaten to a pulp by Little Bill, the main antagonist of the film, who happens to be staring down the barrel of his fucking shotgun? And as messy and imprecise as their weapons are and their techniques, William Munny disposes of the targets of his revenge one by one in a calm, methodical manner. And in a sense, it's played almost as much like a chess game as it is like an action scene. Later on, he's dissecting what happened with the rider, and he says,
I was lucky in the order, but I've always been lucky when it comes to killing folks.
And I guess you could take that to mean he didn't know what was going on, but to me it means, for him, it's just pure, raw instinct, and that killing is a part of his very being. And as much as the writer wants to glorify what he's just seen, William Munny just won't have it, and basically chases him off under threats of death. And I like to think that that's Clint Eastwood's way of acknowledging the fundamental flaw of Western films that turned me against the genre in the first place. He's saying, yeah, glorified violence could be fun in a cartoonish way. It could be entertaining. But gritty, in-your-face, realistic violence? That's fucking gobsmacking. When you ask people what they love about Die Hard, I guess they usually point to the over-the-top action, maybe the elevator explosion or the rooftop jump. And yeah, it has fantastic action, but then again, so does The Matrix Reloaded, and we all know what happened there, right? So by the time you see William Munny walk into that saloon, and aim his gun at Little Bill. Fucking hell. Why are they both called Will? It's stupid. The legend that he carries around is legendary. You know so much about that situation that you can't help but ejaculate into your own testicles, if that's possible. I'm guessing it's not, but I would need to, consult a doctor. I think it might have happened to me last night.